Elon Musk has just revealed his company's new orbital launch schedule. The Starship has been in the works for years now. However, after all the hype surrounding the revolutionary spacecraft, it still hasn't launched. However, things finally look to be bright, as SpaceX and Elon Musk have announced their orbital launch schedule for the Starship. In today's video, we'll talk about the new orbital launch schedule that SpaceX has finally announced for its Starship. Now, what are the details surrounding the orbital launch? And why wasn't it announced before? What were the limiting factors for its delay? Stick around till the end as we answer these questions and more as we delve deep into the world of SpaceX. Without further ado, let us start the video. Let us start with the details of the spacecraft in question, the Starship, before we discuss the orbital launch and the issues surrounding the delay of its announcement. According to SpaceX President Gwen Shotwell, the Starship megarocket, which will transport people and cargo to the Moon and Mars, will fly for the first time in June or July. In the same area, the company has completed many Starship prototype test flights. The Starship's orbital test flight was supposed to take place in December 2021. However, it was pushed back due to a delay in receiving launch certification from the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration. The FAA, on the other hand, recently said that by the end of this month, it will have completed its examination into the Starship's flight environmental impact and will issue certification. On the bright side, 4 of the 5 sub-reviews for Boca Chica, Texas have been completed, with the most recent being a consultation required by the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966. All steps have been completed except for the FAA patrol. I believe SpaceX and the FAA are now in charge of finishing the PEA language and responding to lone reviewers' remarks. As a result, the FAA anticipates releasing the environmental evaluation before the end of the month. Let's hope this isn't the 7th instance of anything similar. It's enough to do it 4 times. Now that you've grasped the concerns surrounding the launch, let's discuss the launch itself. Orbital launch systems are rockets and other systems capable of propelling objects into or beyond Earth's orbit. Despite the fact that some have used air-breathing engines in their earliest stages, all modern spacecraft launch using conventional chemical rockets. The orbiting task farm, the launch tower, arms and mount, as well as the piping that feeds fuel to the spaceship through a quick detach arm, have all been thoroughly tested thus far. The flight's 2 primary protagonists, the couple 724, have completed the assembly that was hinted at during this historic journey. Furthermore, the nose cone of Ship 24 was raised and stowed within the high bay at the Starbase construction site. The capacity of Ship 24 is currently reached. The close-up view is captured by the spaceship gazer. This week, if not sooner, it should be on its way to the orbital launch site for testing. It can then team up with its 7 Super Heavy booster partners. SpaceX has returned its newest Super Heavy to the Starbase's launch pad after quickly repairing damage sustained during its initial round of testing. After seeing this photo of the internal damage leak, fans and close observers decided that Booster 7 was beyond repair. However, that's not the end. SpaceX appears to have defied expectations by repairing the upgraded Super Heavy to the level where it could be launched again in less than 3 weeks after being returned to the high bay. B7 was returned to the launch site on May 6th and placed for the 2nd time on the orbital launch platform. SpaceX intends to begin installing Raptor V2 engines as soon as the structural testing of Rocket 7 is done. A word on the Raptor situation: SpaceX is firing Raptors numerous times each day to better understand their limits. SpaceX will have more than enough Raptors for the orbital mission later this month. Now it's up to SpaceX to decide whether it wants to rerun the structural testing of Rocket 7 to ensure that the hasty adjustments worked before moving forward with the planned static fire testing. The Super Heavy prototype is still going strong, with further testing planned for this week. So, how do you think the video's going? Another obstacle awaits. How is the rocket going to go back to the landing pad? What role does the FCC play in SpaceX's case? How will Elon Musk handle the pressure to deliver on the project for which he has paid millions of dollars? Before we answer these questions, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep on receiving similar content. The return of the rocket to the launch pad is critical because it occurs as SpaceX prepares yet another regulatory application for a test flight. SpaceX has asked the FCC for permission to add a new frequency to communicate data to the Starship rocket for an orbital test flight. It'll go into effect on the 21st of this month for 6 months, and the Commission will be required to collaborate with the government RF users, such as NASA and the U.S. Department of Defense. In a proposal to the FCC in 2020, SpaceX defined the launch frequency for Starships. Last week, the FCC granted SpaceX permission to add another frequency band, just as the company's FAA environmental review is wrapping up. The first Starship orbital flight is planned to take place soon after a series of testing. The resolve of Elon Musk to land humans on Mars by 2029 is then reaffirmed by SpaceX's COO. In a new interview with CNBC, SpaceX's Gwynne Shotwell claims that we should be able to send people to the surface of Mars within a decade. Indeed, due to the apparent delays of the production of SpaceX's primary rocket, the Starship, as well as Musk's recent Twitter rants, there is fear that the company will fall short of its goal of bringing humans to Mars. Even though the flagship spaceship Starship has yet to be tested, Musk and SpaceX are optimistic about a journey to Mars. Before considering a breakthrough mission to Mars, SpaceX must first demonstrate that Starship is capable of going into orbit and returning safely. While technology has been successfully brought to the surface of our planetary neighbor, no human journey to Mars has been attempted. Moreover, Shotwell claims that people will be on the moon sooner, but given the numerous delays in NASA's much-touted Artemis lunar program, that schedule may prove to be ambitious. When asked if the schedule was realistic, Scott Manley, a well-known internet rocket scientist, said he believes SpaceX can complete it faster than anything short of an Apollo-level effort. This demonstrates dedication, but the deadline appears to be unreasonable. They have the advantage of being able to construct hardware around the concept, whereas NASA only acknowledges SLS as a crucial component of their Mars mission. Now let me weigh in on the topic at hand. I believe we need a substantial delivery on the surface of Mars before people start seriously considering it. In 5 or 6 years, people will probably realize that this is a real destination. A human landing on Mars is projected in 2029, followed by a larger-scale human migration in the late 2030s, based on Musk's target date. Musk has stated that he hopes to build a permanent civilization on Mars by 2050. According to some SpaceX insiders, the corporation plans to send missions to Mars from Earth during the next century in order to assist in the development of numerous settlements on Mars. However, this is my personal opinion. Feel free to disagree. However, we value your opinion, so do let us know what you think regarding the new orbital launch in the comments below. In the end, despite the many delays and issues, Elon Musk has always prevailed over any issue that has come his way. From his experiences at Tesla, he learned many things, and one of those was to counter the issues that many thought would cause the end of his company. However, Musk always remained steadfast, found solutions to his problems, and always managed to take his companies to new heights of success. That's all there is to it, guys. So what are your thoughts on Elon Musk's and SpaceX's Starship orbital launch update? Please let us know in the comments section below. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel to receive more content like this in the future.